Welcome to my channel. In this problem, they have asked us to prepare subsidiary books. Let's read the problem now. Record the following transactions in the sales book and sales return book of Mr. XYZ company and post them to ledger. On August 7, sold goods to Kanagasabai as per invoice number 78 for rupees 7,500 on credit. On August 15, returns inward by Sendil as per credit note number 7 for 1,500 rupees for which cash is not paid. On August 20, sold goods to Selvam for rupees 13,300 for cash. On August 25, sales returns of 1,800 rupees by Madhavan as per credit note number 11 for which cash is not paid. In this first transaction, goods are sold to Sendil on credit. We already discussed that while preparing subsidiary books, we should take into account only credit transactions. The goods have been sold to Sendil on credit. So, this transaction will find place in sales book. Again, on August 4, sold goods to Madhavan on credit for rupees 12,800. Here also the sale is made on credit. So, this transaction should be recorded in sales subsidiary book. Again, on August 7, goods are sold to Kanagasabai on credit for rupees 7,500. Again, this transaction should be recorded in sales subsidiary book. On August 15, returns inward by Sendil. Returns inward means what? It is a sales return. So, sales return should be recorded in sales return book for which cash is not paid. So, it is a credit transaction. It should be recorded in sales return book. Then again, on August 20th, sold goods to Selvam for cash. This is a cash transaction. So, it will not be recorded in sales book. Only goods which are sold on credit will find place in sales book. On August 25th, sales returns of 1,800 rupees by Madhavan as per credit note number 11 for which cash is not paid. In this transaction, goods are returned by Madhavan for which cash is not paid. It is a credit transaction. So, this transaction should be recorded in sales return book. Remember, only credit transactions will be recorded in subsidiary books. Okay, let's see how to prepare subsidiary books in the books of XYZ company. So, we have to write in the books of XYZ and company, sales book. Then we have to write the headings as date, particulars, IN, LF, amount, details, rupees, total, rupees. IN means what? Invoice number. LF means what? Ledger folio. Now let's see what and all has to be recorded in this sales book. So, the first transaction is sold goods to Sendil on credit. This is a credit transaction. Goods are sold on credit. It is a sale transaction. So, it should be recorded in sales book. Similarly, sold goods to Madhavan for rupees 12,800. It should also be recorded in sales book. And the transaction is made on credit. Next one is sold goods to Kanagasabai on credit for rupees 7,500. It is also a sale transaction, so it will be recorded in sales book. Sold goods to Selvam for cash is not recorded in sales book. In this transaction, August 1st, the goods are sold. So we have to write in date column August 1, 2017. Invoice number is 68. The amount is rupees 20,500. And the goods are sold to Sendil. So I am writing 2017 August 1st. The goods are sold to Sendil. So I am going to write Sendil. Invoice number is 68. Amount is rupees 20,500. $20,500. Okay, again, the goods are sold to Madhavan on August 4. So, I am writing in the date column August 4. Goods are sold to Madhavan. So, in particulars column, we have to write Madhavan. And the invoice number is 74. Amount is rupees 12,800. See, on August 7, goods are sold to Kanagasabai for rupees 7,500. Invoice number is 78. So, I am going to record in subsidiary books. On August 7, goods are sold to Kanagasabai. Invoice number is 78. Amount is rupees 7,500. So no more credit sales are made. So I am going to total this sales amount. So when you total 20,500 plus 12,800 plus 7,500, we get rupees 40,800. Okay, the first three transactions are recorded, and now in this fourth transaction, returns inward by Sendil as per credit note number 7 for 1,500 rupees, for which cash is not paid. So the goods are returned by Sendil. It is called sales return. This transaction should be recorded in sales return book. And this one, sales return of rupees 1,800 by Madhavan, is also recorded in sales return book, for which cash is not paid. The date of the transaction is August 25th. Today credit note number is 11 and the amount is rupees 1,800. So on August 15, year is 2017, goods are returned by Sendil. Credit note number is 7. Amount is rupees 1,500. On August 25th, goods are returned by Madhavan. Credit note number is 11. Amount is rupees 1800. So what is the total? 1500 plus 1800. 3300 is the total. When goods are sold on credit, the person who receives the goods becomes the debtor to us because he owes us money, he is not going to pay cash immediately. So the entry for goods sold on credit. What is the entry? Sundry debtors account debtor to sales account. He receives the goods on credit and goods are going out. It is an income. Sale is an income, so it is credited. And sundry debtors are the persons who owe us money. They are like an asset to us, so it is debited. So the entry is sundry debtors account debtor to sales account. So while preparing sales account, we have to write it on the credit side of sales account by sundry debtors account. When goods are returned, the entry is sales returns account debtor to sundry debtors account. The goods are coming in and we are going to credit the giver. So the giver here is sundry debtors. So whenever goods are returned, the entry will be sales return account debtor to sundry debtors account. Sendil, Madhavan and Kanagasabai are all debtors to us because the goods are sold on credit to these three persons. Remember, the goods are sold on credit to Sendil, Madhavan and Kanagasabai. Therefore, the entry is, journal entry is debit the receiver. Who is receiving the goods? Sendil is receiving the goods. Similarly, Madhavan and Kanagasabai, they are also receiving the goods. So, we have to write the entry as Sendil account debtor to sales account. Sendil is the receiver and sale is an income. Debit the receiver according to the personal account rule, debit the receiver. And according to the nominal account rule, credit all incomes and gains. That's why sales account is credited. Next one, Madhavan is the receiver of goods. So, Madhavan account is debited as per the personal account rule, debit the receiver. And sale is an income, so it is credited according to the nominal account rule, credit all incomes and gains. And Kanagasabai is also the receiver of goods, so he is debited as per the personal account rule, debit the receiver. Sale is an income, so it is credited as per the nominal account rule, credit all incomes and gains. So now let's prepare Sendil ledger account, Madhavan ledger account and Kanagasabai ledger account. So when we prepare these ledger accounts, that is when we prepare Sendil ledger account, Sendil is debited. So we have to write it on the debit side of the ledger account to sales account. Again, when we prepare Madhavan ledger account, Madhavan account is debited. So we have to write it on the debit side to sales account. Similarly, while preparing Kanagasabai ledger account, Kanagasabai is debited, so we have to write it on the debit side to sales account. Now we are going to prepare sales ledger account. Sales account is credited, so we have to write it on the credit side by sundry debtors account. So while preparing the sales ledger account, we have to write on the credit side of sales ledger account by sundry debtors account. Amount is rupees 40,800. Remember, we have to write the end of the month, that is 2017 August 31 by sundry debtors account. Amount is rupees 40,800. Next, we are going to prepare Senthil ledger account. Senthil account is debited, so we are going to write it on the debit side to sales account. Amount is rupees 20,500 because the goods are sold on credit for rupees 20. So while preparing Senthil's ledger account, we have to write it on the debit side to sales account. Because Senthil account is debited, the goods are sold to Senthil for rupees 20,500. So, year is 2017, August 1st. Senthil is debited, so we have to write it on the debit side to sales account. Amount is rupees 20,500. Then, when goods are returned by Senthil, entry is sales returns account debtor to Senthil account. Here, in this transaction, Senthil account is credited. So, therefore, we have to write it on the credit side of Senthil ledger account by sales return account rupees 1,500. Year is 2017, August 15 by sales return account. Amount is rupees 1,500. This is how we have to prepare Senthil's ledger account. The next ledger account we are going to prepare is Madhavan ledger account. So in Madhavan ledger account, we have to write it on the debit side to sales account 12,800. Then again, Madhavan is credited in this transaction. So we have to write it on the credit side by sales return account 1,800. Date is 2017 August 4 to sales account. Amount is rupees 12,800. Then again in date column 2017 August 25th, by sales return account. Amount is rupees 1,800. So when we prepare Kanagasabai ledger account, we have to write it on the debit side to sales account 7,500. See, the goods are only sold on credit to Kanagasabai. The goods are not returned by Kanagasabai. Only Mr. Sendil has returned the goods and Madhavan has returned. The goods are returned by Mr. Sendil and Mr. Madhavan. So we have passed the journal entry for sales returns by Sendil and Madhavan. As far as these transactions are concerned, the goods are sold only to Kanagasabai. Therefore, while preparing the Kanagasabai account, we have to write it on the debit side of Kanagasabai to sales account. Date 2017 August 7. To sales account 7,500. So while preparing the sales return account, we have to write it on the debit side to Sendil 1,500, and again we have to write it on the debit side to Madhavan 1,800 because sales return account is debited. Or simply we can write it on the debit side of sales return account to sundry debtors 1,500 plus 1,800, 3,300 rupees. So date of the transaction. Date is 2017 August 31. To sundry debtors. Because we already know that Sendil, Madhavan, they are all debtors to us. So simply we are going to write two sundry debtors in brackets 1,500 plus 1,800. Amount is rupees 3,300. So in sales return account, so when we prepare sales return account, we are going to write it on the debit side to sundry debtors 3,300, or we can also write like this: to Sendil, amount is rupees 1,500, and again we can write to Madhavan, amount is rupees 1,800. Thanks for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe.